Hello and welcome to the Thursday, December 14th, 2017 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich and today I'm recording from Washington, D.C. When we're looking at malicious domains, one thing that often comes up is that hackers will register a new domain, for example, for use as a command and control channel, and then immediately start using it. So one indicator that a domain is up to no good is that it was just registered. Most other domains are being registered, then websites and services are being built, and then they're actually used. So having a list available of recently registered domain names is quite useful to sort of add additional background information to your logs. Xavier found an interesting website that does publish a free list of new domains that were registered, and he has a little script here for you that you can use in order to include this list in Splunk. Of course, you could also use this list to find any newly registered domains that, for example, try to impersonate any domain that you own. Exposing web-based consoles for your security devices is always a bad idea, and if you need any more evidence for this, look at the latest patch for Palo Alto Networks firewalls. 3 different vulnerabilities were disclosed in the web-based admin interface for Palo Alto that together can be used to execute arbitrary code as root. Really nice set of vulnerabilities showcasing some of the more popular flaws. Number 1 is a deserialization vulnerability, something that was just added to the OWASP top 10. In this particular case, it can be used to bypass authentication because Palo Alto kind of decided to do it all themselves instead of using the built-in authentication and serialization functions that you have available in PHP. The second flaw allows the creation of arbitrary directories after you bypassed authentication using bug number 1. And finally, you'll then be able to create arbitrary cron jobs which are executed as root. So if you are using a Palo Alto firewall, upgrade it quickly and double check that the web-based admin interface is not exposed to any unauthorized user. Don't just rely on the authentication provided by the firewall itself. And one of the features that's being offered by the popular source code management tool Git is the ability to compare two versions of the code using git-diff. This is often used to verify that a change submit doesn't break anything, doesn't include any malicious code. But an interesting blog post now shows how a malicious developer could hide changes to be displayed by this tool. The attacker would take advantage of control character sequences. Now, control characters are used to modify the layout of text and, for example, to delete text and the like. And it has been notoriously difficult to clean up these control characters. As being pointed out in this blog post, for example, the tool cat that's often used to display files also suffers from similar issues. However, in this particular case with Git, it could be used for a developer to add a backdoor to the code that in a cursory inspection using git-diff would not be shown. So the victim would accept the change and incorporate it into their source code without ever realizing that they just accepted a change that included the backdoor. Now, if the code is reviewed later using a different tool, the backdoor would be visible again, but by then it will be much more difficult to really figure out that this was a recently submitted change. So, pretty interesting blog post for 2 reasons. First of all, it does outline a problem in git-diff, and secondly, it really illustrates why dealing with control characters is so difficult. And finally, if you are owning an Apple Airport base station for your Wi-Fi network, it's time to update. Apple finally released updates for the crack and AirPone vulnerabilities for these devices. Looks like Apple is kind of phasing out these devices, which is probably why it took quite long to come up with these patches. So this is it for today. Thanks for listening, and talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.